my mess that is my downstairs storage room and my little kitty girl Leia. I have a lot of like cleaning and camping supplies, Christmas tree, a pantry. But then this little area here, I've been working on organizing and tidying this up. This is my first aid area and, medications and that sort of thing area. I've organized it enough that I had an empty drawer that, thanks to COVID, I realized I needed a PPE drawer. So I've got some masks, one fabric mask and some disposable ones that we've collected over time, and a giant bag of gloves. Now they're not sterile gloves, they're just like clean gloves. We don't use them very often, but they make their way home in my pockets from work regularly, because I'm a nurse and I tend to have a pair of gloves in my pocket all the time. When I use them, I put a new pair in my gloves at the end. So I tend to come home with a pair. Sometimes I'm able to hold on to them and use them in my next shift, but then sometimes they just sit in my bag for a few days, and then I empty my pockets and my bag at home. So I've got a big bag of gloves. Don't use them in grocery stores, that sort of thing, because, you're just spreading contaminants. You might as well just wash your hands. But for first aid, they're great, and if a person ever needs them, they're all in one spot. And then in the bottom, I've got a little hand sanitizer. I usually have one in my first aid area, but the one I had was like 2 years expired. So when I found some hand sanitizer, I got a little one, put it in here. I didn't want to put a big one in because if I don't use it and it expires, it would be kind of a waste. But just a little one, just in case. And if we use it, if we take some of these, put them in cars, we can just replace them from here. This is like our backup storage spot for PPE. I've got Band-Aids and gauze. I tend to collect them. We've got some fun Band-Aids like, Marvel and Star Wars, and there we've got some glow-in-the-dark ones back there. Gauze pads, some tape, different sizes of Band-Aids. We've got the big ones, we've got some little ones, we've got some specialty finger, knuckle, that sort of thing. And then we've got some gauze, some alcohol swabs, and I think some of these have some chlorhexidine in there, maybe. Or maybe they're just all alcohol. And some compresses, just extra stuff like that. Advanced blister ones. I don't know if we've ever used those, but hydrocolloid dressings, different things like that, all in one area. So if we've got cuts and stuff, we know where to go. And down here we've got some instant cold packs. This Quick Clot, I've never used it. I haven't ever needed it. I would probably forget I had it if I really needed it, but it's a dressing that's supposed to stop bleeding really fast, and I liked the idea of it. I got it a few years ago. I've never needed it. Hopefully I never do, but I've got it. Got some, what is this? Lidocaine gel. Just, when any grown-ups or nieces and nephews and such have sores and things that needed a rash, burns. Got this nosebleed stuff. I get nosebleeds every once in a while, but I've never actually thought to use this. It's supposed to stop nosebleeds quickly. I think it's a good idea, but I wouldn't use it for a nosebleed that's it doesn't, like 20 minutes or so long, so I haven't ever needed it. And we've got Benadryl spray for bug bites and some polysporins. Just little first aid-y type things. And they've got overflow first aid, but also just other medication-y things. We've got some nail fungus stuff, some physio tape, tensor bandages. wrist and ankle dressings. I think down here we've got some moleskin. We're a clumsy household, so we use those. Then we've got down here kids' medications. We don't have kids in this household, but lots of nieces and nephews, so there's the potential of needing them. So we've got children's Tylenol, Benadryl. Both of those are liquids. Both of them are bubblegum flavored, which is weird. I remember them being grape in that, but bubblegum is what they had, so bubblegum is what I have. And then some Gravol. The Gravol that I have, I found some tablets. It seemed like kids might actually enjoy tablets better. I'm gonna see if they have Benadryl in the chewable, dissolvable stuff, because some of my nephews who are more like 6, 7, 8 years old might rather the pills than the liquid. And I only have at this point 2 nieces that live somewhat nearby who are under the age of 2. So I got the Tylenol that's for age 2 to 11. One of them, she'll be 2 in August, so just a couple months. So we can just look up the dosing for a 23-month-old as opposed to a 24-month-old. And the Benadryl, I think that's for all ages under 12. So that's good for all of my nieces and nephews. And I've got my thermometer, not just for kids to use, but this is the emptiest drawer, so it seemed like that would be a good spot to put it. I use this before I go into work to make sure I don't have a temperature. They're not checking our temperatures at the hospital anymore, so they're just trusting us to take our own temperatures and not come in if we're sick. So I like to do that, and every once in a while my sister takes her temperature. Back in, March, April, when the pandemic was starting to hit here, we were using this multiple times a day for each of us, because every time you get, anxious or flustered or, a little bit feeling warmer than normal, you think you've got a fever. None of us have had a fever since the pandemic started, but that's what that is. And then we have the adult drugs, aptly named. We've got just like Tylenol, Advil, Gravol, lots of Tylenol. We've got some cold medication day and night. Got some muscle pain reliever, muscle and back. Down there, I believe we have some cough drops, which oddly enough we haven't had to use. We've all been washing our hands and staying away from people, and none of us have gotten sick this spring, which is odd. Usually somebody gets sick right around spring break time. And we do have ASA. We don't take it regularly, but as a nurse, I don't know, maybe it's just paranoia, but having an ASA, if it seems like somebody's having a heart attack or something, I have it. Probably don't need a giant bottle of it, but I don't know. I just like to have it. Give it to somebody to chew if it seems like they're having cardiac issues. And, of course, anti-itch cream because allergies. And, yeah. That's my first aid area. It's not complete. I still have some sorting and might look into getting some other bandages, other kids' medications. I need to double check my adult Gravol and Benadryl selection. Make sure that they're, at par. Maybe get some other allergy meds because my sister-in-law has allergies. So do I. So does my sister, but sister-in-laws seem to be the worst, especially around cats. And since we're not getting rid of the cats, we can at least give her allergy meds. So that's it for the shared first aid. I do keep some different medications, Tylenol and stuff, in my own bedroom and bathroom just so I don't have to raid the stash here, but this is a good spot to keep all the stuff that we don't use on a regular basis. And this way, whenever my family says, oh, I need some Tylenol or I need a Benadryl, I don't have to go into my room and dig through my little medication cabinet.